Hello everyone, Ron here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and this week I'm talking about perfect grades all the time. Now, I have to admit, it's a little bit of clickbait, that title, but there is an explanation, and it might sound contradictory, but if you listen carefully, I think you'll understand it, and if you use it, I think you'll see a lot of improvement in your school grades, or even in your workplace. Now, first of all, a lot of the time when people are talking about perfect, they don't necessarily mean absolute perfection. So I understand there's a sort of colloquial meaning of the word perfect. However, there are a lot of students who ask me, and some of them are very serious about trying to be perfect all the time. And what that does is it generally stalls them from getting anything done. In fact, I'm very suspicious of anyone who says, I'm a perfectionist, because it normally means they don't accomplish very much. They're spending far too much time on the process, far too much time trying to be perfect, and they never accomplish the goal. They never accomplish completion, and that's no good. So what I want you to do, and this is the contradictory bit, is forget about perfection. Forget about perfect. It's unachievable. You might get 100% on a test or a quiz, so you might consider that perfect, but you cannot be perfect all of the time. And even that 100%, there may be some flaw in there. So perfection is not what you want to aim for. What you want to aim for are achievable goals. So set yourself some achievable goals, and you want these to challenge you, but you also want them to be reasonable. So if you are doing 50% in math last year, your goal should not be 100% perfection this year. Make it an achievable goal for the next quiz or the next test. Make it an achievable longer goal for the end of term. Now, you might exceed those goals, perfect, but that is a target for you that makes much more sense. Then I want you to focus on the material, on the work, on the practice, on the rehearsal, on the studying at night, doing practice questions, etc. Focusing on the material will allow the grades to follow. If you're focusing on the grades, as I've mentioned many times, you're focusing on the wrong animal. You need to be looking at the work and doing the work. So a lot of the time when students ask me, and I just had this question again recently, how can I get perfect grades all the time? They're really asking for a shortcut. They're really asking for, how can I do this without doing quite as much work or any work? So that's another problem with aiming for perfection. It sometimes provides people with a bit of an out, because if it can't be perfect, then why bother doing it at all? Well, yeah, that doesn't really work for me. You still need to do the work and make some improvement. And so that's what you're aiming to do, is improve over your previous performance. You don't need to worry about Johnny or Sally in the next desk. You just need to improve over your own performance from last time, or reach one of those goals that you've set for yourself, and those goals might change. So in one unit in math, your goal might be an 80%. In another unit, it might be a 70%, because you happen to see that this is a really difficult unit for you and you're having a lot of trouble, so you might want to set your goal a little lower. If you make 80 or 90, that's great. I shouldn't say that's perfect. That's great. But maybe I should say that's perfect, because that's how you do, in a sense, get perfect grades all the time. Your perfect grade is not 100%. Your perfect grade is improving over what you've done before in general. That doesn't mean every single unit or every single test or every single essay is going to be better than the one before, but you're reaching the highest goal, the highest achievement that you can with the tools you have at the moment, with the time and the effort that you're going to put into it. That will get you your perfect grade every time. It might not be an A even, but it's still your perfect grade. So that's how I'm sort of getting around this idea of perfect grades all the time. First of all, you can't get the stereotypical perfect, the 100% every single time. But you can get the perfect grade for you if you're focusing on the material, looking toward improvement, and doing everything you can to do your very best. And that's really what I think you should do. It will make you feel better. It will give you achievable targets. And it always feels great when you reach those targets. So that's what I want you to focus on. Don't worry about perfect. Worry about better. Well, actually, don't worry at all. Work toward better and work toward improvement. You can see how language can be difficult sometimes if you take the words too seriously. But I do want you to focus on the work and the effort and achieving the goal and completing the assignment. You might have heard sometimes painters or artists, they start a painting and they keep thinking, I can make it better, I can make it better, and they end up destroying their own work because they're looking for perfection. But there isn't really a perfect perfection. There's a point at which this is done and it is as good as it's going to get. And some people might think it's perfect and some people might not, but that's okay, as long as you're doing your very, very best, which I'm sure you're all going to do this year, right? So that's it for this week. That's how to get your perfect grades, even if they're not 100%. Read the blog. It's a little bit different, but still on the same topic. Give you some more ideas. And leave a comment, a suggestion, a question. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click on the little bell so you'll get notifications for other videos. And yeah, that's it. It's Ron from L.T.L Tutoring Central. I hope you have an amazing week. First week back to school for a lot of the students in this area at least. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.